we have Society of the Hourglass coming in hot. We have Joe Payne, community lead, and just basically extraordinaire over there with Society of the Hourglass. They have a live mint going on. I have pre-sale access to this mint. I'm going to take you inside the platform, take you inside Hashku, where you're able to mint these awesome NFTs that are pretty much, again, being minted right now. But without further ado, let's bring in Joe Payne. Let's have a good talk, and let's see what Society of the Hourglass is up to. Let's bring my man in here. Joe, what is going on
What's
today,
up,
my
guys?
brother?
Feeling good. How are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a good day. Pre-sale day. Public sale goes live here in a couple hours. So we're stoked. Things are chugging along really well.
Congratulations. We kind of checked in before the show started and got a little info as far as the pre-sale. Seems like it's going really well. So we're super excited for you guys. I definitely think that once it does hit public sale, this one's going to run. I think the project is a really good one. We talk about it, thank you very much for being sponsors. We do talk about it a little bit every week and why we like Society of Hourglass. And for me, building this massive IP out of this NFT project, I think is something that people are starting to see can result in really good yields for everyone involved, right? The Bored Ape Yacht Club is really leaning into the IP. And I think what you guys are building and the brand that you're building and you're doing it alongside your community is really exciting. So if you could kind of just give us a rundown for anybody who maybe has not heard about Society of Hourglass, what exactly is it about? What exactly are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you for that too. And by the way, you guys have been awesome partners. It's been fun to support and jam with you guys on some things. So yeah, the Society of the Hourglass, we're doing a lot. We're ultimately what we're doing is building a Web3 entertainment brand. I think you hear people talking more and more about that. And to your point, community involvement and ownership and influence over that IP is a really, really big deal. So we're doing a few things. One is we're working on some illustrated children's books. Every holder is going to get a physical copy of that, which is super exciting. Our collection is visually really, really diverse. This graphic you've got up on screen here, you can see we've got 12 different character bases. So it's not the typical like multiple traits applied to one character. It results in a much more rich and interesting collection that we're really, really excited about. We've also got a lot of really rare one-of-one characters. You see some of their base versions up here that they'll all have era appropriate. Our story kind of takes place across time, and so the competitors and stewards are these historical figures that are in the society and competing to join the society. And so we're starting to unpack and tell that story with our community, and our holders get to influence and contribute to and ultimately vote on what that story is. And that is going to be the foundation for the books, the animated series. We've got a partner, Jump Cut Media, that we've already signed an agreement with and have onboarded. They're helping lead out that community lore building effort. We just announced an on-chain game that we're really, really excited about that's also going to be contributing and consuming that lore. And so your tokens, your characters will be how you play the game. We've got our Mint Pass collection, the Cabinet of Curiosities, that will also have some benefits. You can use those to have a chance at getting a really rare character, our Nigel, our robot assistant. You can use them to make sure one of your NFTs makes it in the book. Lots of fun stuff. And again, like you said, the community is not only involved in and consuming, but actively voting on and contributing to and participating in that. So this really is a story and a collection built with our community. And that's something that feels really, really important to us. Jump Cut, our production partner for the animated series, their whole vision and purpose is to bring Web3 to Hollywood. And I think that's why we aligned so closely with them and why they got so excited by what we were doing. We signed them on really, really early. Like you said, we haven't even minted yet. We're in the process of our pre-sale mint right now, but to actually already have that agreement in place, be actively working on and holding votes and events to contribute to that lore has been a really, really exciting and I think meaningful signal too, to not only ourselves but to the community that like, hey, this is different. And if I'm looking for something that I can hold and participate in a really meaningful way long term, like this is the place to be. So it's really, really exciting. We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers and a lot to like unpack in what you guys are doing and where you're trying to go and the brand and everything. I'd like to kind of know, okay, so we've got the mint, it's coming up. Hopefully we sell out soon. And when you're done with that, what is the next steps? Like as a somebody who, let's say I pick up one here in a couple hours at 5 p.m. when they go live for public, what is the
Yep.
community vibe like, and what is the community kind of like goal over the next, let's say 4 to 8 weeks over the short term?
Yeah, so we've got a few things. One, I mentioned the books, the series, and the game. We're going to be actively. I mean, we're already working on all of those things right now, but we're going to have some milestones for each of those coming up. That we're targeting to have the first version, chapter 1 of the game, ready to play by the end of this month, hopefully. Um, we've got some mechanics to continue figuring out and sorting out from a technical perspective, but we have kind of the vision. We're starting to work on getting all of that mapped out, and we're really excited about it. So there's that. The community is already working on lore. We've got a writers room channel. We've got a channel on our Discord specifically to contribute ideas to the book. Because we're such an inherently story driven and narrative based collection and brand, like the collection is only a piece of this, right? We're building a brand, an entertainment brand. And so the community being actively engaged in and participating in that process is really, really important to us and to them. That's where we're going to kind of shift our focus post Mint. We've been talking a lot in our Discord and on Twitter Spaces that we've been doing. The Mint is just an event. It's not the purpose of all this. So we want to do this. We want it to go really well. So far it has, but really we're building something for the long term. And so getting the community kind of plugged into and aligned to these milestones for voting on stories and getting kind of the narrative foundation established, getting the characters selected that are going to make it into the book, because again the Seek and Find book is going to feature characters from the NFT collection, both holder selected as well as some that we'll just randomly pick and draw. And then we're also working the story into that book. It's not just going to be spreads of Seek and Find activities. There's going to be a story told through the context of that book. I mentioned a lot of our characters are actual historical figures that have existed. They have their own lore and their own stories already established because they were real. So we're identifying the pieces of that we feel it's appropriate to tell in the context of what we're building, and then we'll kind of embellish and add to that from an entertainment perspective, and have this kind of broadly educational and entertaining approach to storytelling that bridges like the past and the future, because we want to be a really significant part of helping to onboard the next collection or the next generation of collectors and creators into NFTs. You've mentioned our Hashku platform that we built. Right now that's handling minting and pre-sale and art generation. Our goal is that that's a platform that other creators can use to launch their collections and try to remove some of the friction and of getting involved in this space. And holders of the Society of the Hourglass, our Genesis collection, are going to be the ones that benefit long term from that, because we're going to be giving pre-sale access to collections that use it, to, NFTs that they will give us in exchange for access to the platform. All of that gets funneled back to our holders. And so holding a Society of the Hourglass token is not only a way to have a vote and a voice in the governance of the story and what we're building, it's also a way to just kind of perpetually be receiving these kind of rewards and benefits long term. So it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, Joe, I had you on the podcast here on the Nifty Q show about 2 weeks ago, and at the time we were talking about like where we are in the NFT space right now, and then where we are
Yeah.
is that there's a lot of NFT projects launching. A lot of it is kind of the same repeated PFP project trying to kind of cash in on what's happening right now. So what you guys are doing with the unique artwork, with the long-term partnerships, I do want to have Uncle pull up a couple of those photos that we have as assets you guys have partnered with, or at least kind of aligned yourself with. Dead Fellas, I think I see Zeneca here, in this image. So that's a big shout out to
Yeah.
Zeneca. We need a Lad City one now. We need an NFT live one.
Yeah, we
But
do.
go ahead.
Yeah, these are just honorary pieces that we've been doing for, collections that we like, people that have had an influence on us. Zeneca's been a huge help for us, both personally and in the context of the collection. He's a fan, he's a holder, he's minted our mint pass, he's minted some from the main collection, and has just been super gracious with his time, kind of behind the scenes. We did a spaces with him that was awesome. We went for like 2 hours and had to kind of force ourselves to stop because we'd gone so long. But yeah, we're just trying to use our platform and our team's capabilities to have some fun and kind of share the love with other collections and people in the space that we've been fans of for a long time.
Yeah, and the last question I have here, as it's related to the project, just kind of getting details on where someone can go if they don't have access to the pre-sale mint, and just public sale information that's happening in the next, I think you said 2 hours. So just drop that info
Yep.
for us, and we'll continue.
Yeah. Yeah, so the best place to be is our Discord, hands down. We're at Hourglass_NFT on Twitter. We've got links to our Discord and our website in there, societyofthehourglass.com. We've got the link to go mint in Hashku in our Discord. One of the, I think we've all been super stoked about the general state of the market right now. One of the downsides of the uptick in activity is that we've seen scam attempts and bots just really, really up their efforts to try and take advantage of people, which has been one of the nice things about Hashku, is that it's given us a way to say definitively, like, we'll never post a mint link anywhere else. It's always going to happen here. So despite attempts to scam and bot our servers, we so far that we know of have not had anyone fall victim to any of that. So get in there, pay attention to the official channels. We've got all of our OpenSea collections linked, and Hashku, the mint page, is linked in there. And public sale starts in just under 2 hours. We have, I think I was telling you guys before the show started, our total collection is going to be 8,888 characters, but we're only making about a quarter of that available right now in Chapter 1. So we want our early supporters to be able to be the ones that benefit kind of in an outsized way, by having a heavier vote and influence over the story and the lore that we're creating. And then it's also going to allow us to work on and improve the game with a much tighter and more highly engaged group of holders, which we're really, really excited about. I think the last time I checked is about 30 minutes ago. We had, I think, around 650 tokens left available to mint in Chapter 1. So we'll see what's left when we go into public sale, but we're expecting to close the mint, not too long after opening, when the rest of those Chapter 1 tokens sell out.
Ronan, you're muted.
Helps if I'm not muted. Sorry, I'm like coughing and like I don't want to like interrupt. Yeah, so for me, I'm really interested in because this is like newer information for us, and I think everybody is the game. So I'd love to know a little bit about like how the game is going to work, what that experience is going to feel like, and then for chat, if anybody has any questions, make sure you drop them in chat. We'll make sure we ask them before we let them go.
Yeah. The game we're super excited about. We actually haven't released all of the details of what that's going to look like publicly yet. Some of that is strategic because we want to leave some elements of surprise and allow for some speculation on how people collect. And the other part is that we're still working through a lot of the details, and we're going to, like, we want to be able to have things tight when we start announcing the specific mechanics. A few key points, though, that I think are worth noting, and yeah, you've got it pulled up on screen here. So gameplay is going to be dynamic. We're going to evolve the mechanics and the rules from chapter to chapter, because we want to create this really dynamic and engaging ongoing experience. Your character types and traits are going to matter. So, this first chapter, we kind of coyly allude to it here in the announcement, but it's going to be themed and kind of focus on our Wild West era. That does not mean that only our Wild West characters can play. The collection is totally randomized across even chapters, so we don't know what characters are going to be minted when. But the theme of the game is going to be focused on different things like that. The game mechanics are going to give you options for holding a mint pass from the Cabinet of Curiosities. So that was a new utility and value that we added to those tokens and just announced a few days ago. And then again, we're minting out our collection kind of around these chapters. We've got some assumptions and beliefs on how that needs to look. We're going to take what we learned from minting this first chapter and we'll adjust if we need to. But our goal is to use the story to kind of drive the mint over the next, probably couple of months. We'll get tighter on that as we go. But it's going to be fun. It's going to give people a way to think about their characters and their collection strategy dynamically. There will be components of, hey, I like this character and this is going to be my forever piece, and it's less about the game. I may also have pieces that I swap and trade more dynamically because I want to optimize my play experience. And our whole thing here with building this is this is an entertainment brand, so it needs to be entertaining and it needs to be engaging and dynamic. We don't want to create these one-shot, one-off experiences that create moment in time value. We want the whole process of collecting and being a part of the community to be dynamic and to feel gamified and engaging in that way. So we're trying a lot of things, taking a lot of feedback and influence from our community, which has been great. And I fully believe, both in the context of the game and the story that we're building, our best ideas are going to come from sourcing them from the community and our holders who have these voting rights in what we're building. So, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, Joe, I'm on the mint page right now, and we'll be joining you on this journey by owning
Awesome.
some of your NFTs. So
Love
excited to be a part of this, man. Always a pleasure having you on the channel, and always a pleasure having Society of the Hourglass community members in the chat here. So we're gonna let you go to finish up on this public sale for today, guys. That is happening literally in the next 2 hours. So make sure you get on.
Less than 2 hours, yeah.
I'll drop the link here in the chat, and Joe, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate it again.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys.